In this critical moment, our hero Uncle Mo has no choice but to hand over his pregnant wife to Shiyu, urging him to quickly evacuate with his. Shiyu froze momentarily, unsure of his next move. He didn't want to leave Uncle Mo, yet staying meant only cheering from the sidelines. After hesitating for seconds, it felt like browsing his inner mind's album. In the end, he had no choice but to steel his heart and carry out a retreat in accordance with Uncle Ma's guidance. Uncle Mo endured the pain and bravely resisted the bites, just like a superhero from the earthly world. Seizing the chance, she rushed to the glass door, joining the door blockers. His eyes showed only helplessness and anger, with no sign of survival. Uncle Mo began to mutate, eyes red, facial veins seemed to celebrate. He clung on with one finger, fighting not to collapse. Equally in pain, Uncle Mo stubbornly fought off the zombies while she took the chance to rush to the glass door, blending into the crowd of door stoppers. He was struggling to hold on, but thankfully Shiyu was there to help. What a classic case of brothers in arms. Trio pushed open the glass door. Without time to breathe, she pulled in two girls, then saw the old lady's unsteady gaze. She flat out refused to come in. In her mind, these people were no different from zombies. Rather than live among this crowd, she'd rather offer herself to the zombies. She stood her ground, resolutely pulling the glass door shut in front of her, waiting for the chaos to settle. She rushed up and roared at Director Jin, "What on earth are you doing?" Arguing earlier opening could have saved everyone. He was stunned. Almost wet his pants but dared not respond directly, so he lashed back, accusing Shiyu of being covered in blood, surely bitten, and wanting to kick others out to save himself. He gripped all, each a scared bird. Meanwhile, moral conscience lingered, until someone spoke in the crowd. This voice was like pulling off everyone's masks, and soon others began to chime in. In the heat of emotion, they had nowhere to go, turning to the next carriage, while Miju had grown tired of this coldness. She decided to leave with them. The people in the carriage quickly secured the glass door with sturdier ties, locking themselves in. They thought they'd found safety, putting on an elixir farce, yet overlooked the curly-haired old lady observing outside quietly. She rose, headed for the door. Seeing this, Iam knew it was out of control and sent someone to stop her. It was too late, but luckily Chia's group didn't seal the door. These people blocking the way gave them a survival chance. Even more coincidentally, Chia's subordinates soon reported that Busan's defenses were secure. However, due to the government's desire to avoid triggering a large-scale refugee crisis, they chose to keep the information under wraps, though it sounded a bit shady. For Shiyu and others, this was uplifting news. Before they could celebrate, the train screeched to a halt. The train conductor breathed a sigh of relief. Although unsure if anyone was still alive, he conveyed the urgent situation over the intercom. He ordered all to disembark and board other trains to Busan. Captain Xu quickly led the way to find a backup train. Meanwhile, Director Jin aimed to escape fast. He peeked, then lied to Minister Chen about the safety outside, beaming widely. As the opponent checked, Jin shoved him hard, using another as a sacrifice to flee. He unleashed a swarm of zombies. Shia's group, still unaware, sought a safe carriage. They planned to bypass the train. Sayabai found a carriage to call for help when the ground suddenly shook. As dust settled, they were stranded on opposite sides, Chai-Yu trapped under the train. Sayabai rushed into the carriage with his girlfriend at the sight. He wanted to save him from the other side, but found the door locked. Time was tight, so Sayabai had to break a window. Unfortunately, he didn't know tempered glass must be struck at the corners, failing to break it despite his efforts. At this critical juncture, Director Jin emerged with zombies, making it a zombie party. Sensing danger, Sayabai grabbed a hammer to shield his girlfriend. In panic, Director Jin smashed the window, tears welling silently in his heart. After a clash of wits and strength, Sayabai drove zombies out. Director Jin fled, leaving Sayabai furious and alone. At this moment, Director Jin crossed to the second carriage and met the sweating conductor being chased by zombies. The conductor urged him on, but Jin panicked, slipped, and couldn't recover. Seeing this, a bit of sympathy stirred within the conductor, rushing to help him, only to discover that the other party wasn't a good guy at all. Director Jin preferred others die over himself. Facing in chaos, he sprinted to the train without looking back. He left everything, forcing the conductor to cope alone. Meanwhile, Shiyu just woke up. He woke to see zombies above, Without strong glass, they'd be snacks. What luck won't last. The carriage nearly toppled. She quickly squeezed through a gap to check for safety. He hurriedly called everyone to get out, but just then the train shook again, blocking the passage with falling pipes. Every time a window shattered into a million pieces, everyone around faced fear, yet their inner courage spurred them to tackle it. She desperately used his body to block the advancing zombies, finally managing to shove the pipes. He reached out to pull his daughter to safety, but the uncle hesitated to leave behind his familiar friend, lingering for too long. Just before leaving, he turned back for one last glance, filled with reluctance and unspeakable emotions. Yet at this moment, no matter how grateful or farewell, it all felt too pallid and powerless. The train suddenly tipped over, shattering upper windows, and the zombies rushed in. They madly chased the three, drawing even the original platform zombies in a veritable zombie gala. However, this inadvertently bought Chi and the others precious time to escape, as they scampered to the front of the train, but the zombie's speed was relentless. As time ticked by, they ended up forming a several-meter-long zombie bridge on the verge of snapping, and even the train began to choke.